Greetings, I'm Barrett and welcome to Meet Me at the Table. Today we're going to be doing an unboxing of an all-in pledge for Nemesis Retaliation. This is probably one of my most anticipated games of all time. For those of you that don't know, the Nemesis universe to me is absolutely amazing, and now we get to play Retaliation. If you're interested in seeing some playthroughs of this, of course I did do a few of them of the prototype, but now we have the full copy, the full released edition of this game. So prepare yourselves for some amazing Nemesis content coming out soon. Of course, if you can't wait that long, please check out a new channel that I've been following. It's an absolutely fantastic group of people. It is called Dicing with Death. I'm going to put a link to it in the description of this video. They do fantastic Nemesis content, and they also, I think, have a copy of Nemesis Retaliation, so please go check it out. If not, they did some great videos of the prototype as well. In full disclosure, this copy was sent to me by Awaken Realms, so I do want to thank them for giving me the opportunity to show you this game before the actual release comes to the people that were part of the crowdfunding. Also, in full disclosure, I did as well back this game all in, so I do have my own copy coming as well. For those of you that don't know anything about Nemesis, it is a horror survival type game, and this is the version of the game, unlike the original and the expansion called Lockdown. Those two are very similar. This one is a unique experience where you're going to be invading into a certain areas, and of course have objectives just like the old game, but you're going to be invading them, and there's going to be lots and lots of these intruders all over the board that you're going to have to deal with, but you're going to come in prepared this time, unlike the other two versions. So if you're excited to see the unboxing of absolutely everything Nemesis related, then I need you to, oh, wait a minute, there's more than just this. We've got a full expansion. We've got the classic crew. We've got the support squad. We've got acrylic tokens for the core game, acrylic tokens for the stretch goals, acrylic tokens for the other two factions. We've got, of course, terrain packs. We have to have terrain packs. And then we have some cosmetic features as well. We've got alternate queens. We've got space cats flying all around. And we've got the new king and queen variant set. We've got an art book, and the thing that I'm most excited for than anything else is the Nemesis Retaliation Untold Stories Volume 4. And from what I understand, that version of Untold Stories is 100% co-op. So now if you're excited to see all of this, then I need you to meet me at the table. The first thing I want to show is the playmat. I did forget to mention that they did give me the playmat for this. Here is one side of the playmat. It is dual-sided, so the other side of the playmat is it has less of the things on it, but it does have the starting area here. For those of you that don't know how Nemesis Retaliation works, the way it works is you're going to be setting up the board, so you have this area over here already set up, but then this is a mystery to you. You're not sure where you're moving into this complex, and that's going to be part of the fun of Nemesis Retaliation. But of course, on the back side, it at least shows you where potentially all the things can go. This is the full, if you have everything, then the map would look like this. It's never always going to look like this, but this side does show you more of where the things are. It also has split into 3 sections of the game, or the areas of the area of the place, I should say, that you're in. So these are the 3 different areas, and it is lined up like that too. We're going to keep it on this side for now while we unbox everything for this game. But do know they did send me a playmat for Nemesis Retaliation, and this is it. So I'm super pumped for this playmat. I love playmats. Playmats are super cool. I also failed to mention that I did get the card sleeves for everything for the game as well. I'm not going to go through card sleeves. People know what card sleeves are. We're going to start by exploring the core box of Nemesis Retaliation. On top is the rule book. It also has a room sheet helper, so it's going to tell us what all these different rooms can do and what you can expect when you find them. We have an objective help sheet. This is going to give you a better understanding of all the different objectives you can have in the game and how they're going to function in order to be able to complete them. And they do have them on both sides. So that is a good starting place. We got some great player references. Continuing on, we have all of our punch boards, and there's a mountain of punch boards in here. It's astronomical how many punch boards there are. The first thing we have is the kind of the noise resolution and how to resolve the intruders for this particular faction that comes with the core box. This has two different sides, whether or not the queen is dead or alive. And if it's alive, you're going to use this side. And we're resolving noise inside of corridors, which is going to happen quite a bit. The way this game differs from the original of the other two Nemesises is that a lot of the stuff's going to happen in corridors, which is what these are right here. And as you can see, there's different numbers on these, and those are the noise values that you're going to be placing tokens into these corridors if you roll those particular numbers. Also, if you notice, some of these have smaller numbers in here. There's a more advanced hard mode now. You can play on I don't know, you'll never survive mode. Which would mean that those are going to be, you're going to have more often have an intruder kind of or noise inside of these corridors. They call it deadly mode. So that's an extra thing they have now. They also have these. These are going to be our ammunition refills, or it's going to track the ammunition that we have. It's on two sides. These are dual-sided. The corridors themselves are also dual-sided. One has the noise values and things, and the other ones have zeros. And these are going to be if you decide to secure the corridor. If you secured the corridor, they just can't pop out and get you. So that's why there's a 0 for noise value on the corridors. But when you go to resolve the corridor noise, you're going to check this to see what happens and what is going to befall your adventurers. You can either place larvas, you can place a number of intruders shown on the tokens, and you'll see the tokens shortly. Or you can activate the queen. If not possible, place her in the corridor if you get that token, because you're going to be driving these tokens. If you're in a room, they also, yes, can be in rooms in this game as well, just like they could in the original ones. You can have like a queen or drones or adults or larvas. You can also have the blank token as another token. You'll see that shortly. When you're doing bag development, this is the section you would use if the queen is still alive. Now, of course, the queen is dead. It changes what is going to be happening. It doesn't have too much of a change, but I bet most of the change has to do with the fact that the queen is no longer referenced on the back of the card. We continue on with our punch boards. Again, we have more corridors. We also have grenades down here that we can use. Grenades are awesome. You can throw them into rooms. This is semi-co-op, and if you throw a grenade into a room with a person, well, you know, as long as there's an intruder in there, I guess it did something good. Then we also have some oxygen. Oxygen is key in this game. Huge resource. Oxygen is something that is not in the facility, and you have to try to turn it on. If you don't, you have to use your oxygen that you brought with you to keep yourself alive. Also, we have med kits that you can use, and all these tokens you can have up to 4 of these in your player board area, and you'll see that as we get closer. Here we have some of our people. We have the contractor. This indicates the level of the person when it comes to like following orders presented by certain cards, that this person is a 1-star, so probably is going to be taking orders like crazy. We also have a couple of tokens here. That's the lander token. We also have the auto-destruct token right there. These right here are data tokens that we're going to be using, and this is going to be one of the, wow, it's all just fall apart. This is going to be one of the parts of the board that's going to be set up. This is like the far left or right part of the board, and each part of it is going to have a certain aspect of the game that you're going to be able to track. This one, for example, also has mostly the rules for the queen. When you're attacking the queen, it is different. It's going to have a set of health, and if you ever reach this point on the health track, you're going to be drawing cards for those queen, and if this deck ever diminishes, then you finally kill the queen. But until then, it just keeps on coming and coming and coming. And that's the queen right there. We'll look at it in just a second. This is where the eggs are going to go. This shows whether or not that area of the facility has life support. It always starts not active unless, of course, there's something in the game that tells you otherwise. Continuing on, we have again now some of the tokens for the game. These are the ones that are going to go into our bag. There is a bag in here that's going to be drawing these tokens out of and resolving based on that sheet I showed you earlier. These are secure tokens. These are the tokens that are going to keep our corridor secure if we decide to take the time to do that. This again is part of the board. This is where you're going to be putting the overall mission that everybody can attempt to do. And when you play this game, you're going to be given one mission that everybody is supposed to try to do, but they're also given secret missions, and they can choose to either do the secret mission or this. And when they decide to choose, it's interesting in this game. You start with a marker right here. The first person to choose their objective is going to move the marker down, and gain 3 action cards. So it's like a part of the game where all of a sudden, like, I really need to make this turn happen, and so I have to pick my mission. I'm going to pick this mission, and then you discard all your secret mission cards, so people know that you're going for the main mission. But you get to draw your 3 action cards, and your character can do more stuff on that turn, and it's so on and so forth based on the number of characters in the game. The amount of action cards you're going to get fewer and fewer the longer you decide to wait on till what mission you decide to do. There's some other ones. These are some of the room tiles that we're going to be dealing with. These are whether or not our oxygen is on or off. These are suffocation tokens. If you do run out of oxygen, you're going to have to gain this token and deal with it. It kind of gives you like one more turn before your character runs out of oxygen and dies, which is no good. This one right here, sorry, I forgot this one. This one's the hibernation token. And again, we have more corridors, a couple more suffocation tokens. So this can be played up to 5 players. We have the anti-aircraft gun. Whenever our lander decides to come into the facility, the anti-aircraft gun could potentially be active or not active. And you don't know what this is at the start of the game, but there is a room and potentially other ways of finding out what this is. And if it's active, when your lander tries to land, it blows your lander up and you can't get out unless you find another way. So there are multiple ways to get off of this facility. Then we also have the first player token. Here are some of the queen eggs that are right there. We do have more player room tokens. I'm not going through a lot of these room tokens. When I do my playthroughs, you of course will see how these all interact and what they mean. But I'll explain a little bit about what they are. At least I'll just talk about the pressure control system here. If we look at this room, it'll show a few things. One, it tells you what type of room it is. There's an A, B, C, and question marks. Question marks means these might not always be found in the facility. There's only a certain amount of these that are going to be available. So this one might not even show up in your facility. Next thing it shows you is what type of the name of the room. This symbol here shows that there is a computer in the room, and certain characters or action cards allow you to use computers in certain rooms. This will give you an idea of what this room does. Move one intruder anywhere in the facility. So, for example, you can always use a room. There's a use a room action on your player board, and we'll see it shortly. That will tell you how to use a room and what you do when you do reuse the room. And if you do, it'll do that. For example, if we use this one up here, the robot control room, a security robot room, if we do it, we can place a secure token in a room with the robot, or we can reinforce an empty corridor adjacent to a room with the robot. So this one has to do a lot more with the robot. The symbols here on the side show you what you could potentially find if you search in that room. So this could be military or items. These are you're just going to find items in this room. So that's kind of what you're seeing. Of course, all of them on the back have question marks, even the A, B, C, and D, or A, B, and C cards, because you don't know what you're finding when you go through this entire thing. It's pretty awesome. Also, this is going to cover the hibernation area of the game board until you are able to find the hibernation room, which is right here. It's huge. Here's the hibernation room. It's another part of the board. These are doors that could potentially block your way. This, if we continue on, is going to be more of the game board. This is your countdown track. The countdown track starts at 1 and goes all the way down. This is where you're going to place your self-destruct token. This is where your lander is going to be coming in. So if you want to make sure your thing's not going to get blown up by that. I do have a north. This tells you which way is north, so it tells you how to build the board. So this would be the upper corner of the board right here. And then this is going to be going down the side. This, of course, is going to have our robot card, and it's going to have our life support tokens as well. And then finally, we have all of our characters. These are the characters for our game. They're all kind of falling out. We have the heavy gunner, the recon, the officer, the combat engineer, and the medical support. So we have these characters. This is going to be your oxygen dial that's going to be on your player board. And of course, as it ticks down to 0, then you're going to start, suffocating, or get that suffocation token, and then slowly you are going to die. This is, like I said, a survival game. Though even though you're coming in with big guns, look at some of these guns these guys have. They're still coming in probably unprepared for what's going to happen. So we'll have to see if they make it out. We'll have to decide what characters to use and how we're going to get through the facility. And if you're interested in helping me decide who to play in this game, please check out the Patreon. The link to that is in the description of this video. Those that join the Patreon do get a chance to help decide what characters we use in our game. Now we're going to get to some of the miniatures, and there are a ton of miniatures, way more than you get from the other Nemesis games. But on the flip side, they are smaller than the other ones because they have to fit a lot of them in the corners. Look at the detail on these miniatures. These are out of control. And of course, there are different sizes and different poses, and of course each of these are a little bit different. So we'll start with the big one itself. This is the Queen. The Queen is the main force of controlling all of these other intruders. That is the Queen token. Then we have the drones. These are the drones. I've already picked up one of them to show you. These are a little bit more powerful than the regular intruders, but these are, so they're kind of like the second most powerful kind of character you can come across. These are all of the adults. There's like 36 adults in this game. 36. Okay, I'm just gonna open this bag up and show up some of these. And they are, like I said, a little bit smaller because they have to fit a lot of them on the board, because you could have, you're just going to have waves after waves of these coming at you. But of course you do have the firepower and the guns to be able to take these out. I just hope you have enough ammo, enough life support, and enough everything to hopefully survive. Now there's also these. These are our larvas. There's 6 of these larvas that we have in this game that are going to be having to deal with. Now these are more of the adults. Like I said, there's 6 different poses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what was that? 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 in each bag. So there's all these are the same pose, and so there's 6 different poses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are the 6 different poses for the adults. These right here, these are the larvae. They of course are much smaller, little teeny baby aliens. Look at these. Like, he's coming to get you. Okay, well, that was out of control. All right. But here's the logo. Hold them back before making any other stupid noises. All right, those are the larvae. We also have a basis for, these will signify what character you're using. You put the color around them. This is the robot that you're going to have in the facility that you can use. The robot does have different ways of being used. One could be a military robot. One could be a security robot. One could be a advanced robot that is good at tracking things or something. And so you're going to put the one that you have, and then you never know which one it is. It is going to be different each time you play. These are all the different characters. This, for example, is, I can't remember, I'd have to look at which one this is. This is probably the combat engineer, is my guess. I could be wrong. I'll have to look at this again. But he comes with almost looks like a loader suit from Aliens. Then we have, I believe this is the recon guy. I'm really excited that they kept the ability for them to be, this is the wash that they use. This is what they call the sun drop concept that they do for a lot of their miniatures, and they've even sun dropped these, and I enjoy the fact that they have kept them sun dropped in gray. I like that they kept them in gray because this is almost like having what they call that slap chop ability on your miniature. Yes, you can paint right over this. I have painted contrast paints and speed paints right over these, and it works perfectly. They actually turn out really, really good. So if you are a miniature painter, you can paint right on top of that sun drop gray without any problem. Let's take this off and go to the next part, which I'm sure is going to be the character boards and a lot of the cards that you're going to see. All right, here's our character boards. There are, in theory, should be 5 of them. Yes, there are. Okay, so what you see here is your tactical belt. This is the stuff, those tokens you're going to put here. You can hold up to 4 of them. You're going to have things in your backpack. It gives you a list of all the different actions you can do. Some of them you can do all the time. Some of them you cannot do while you're in combat. That's what this symbol here means. You're going to have your action discard on this side. You're going to have your action deck as well, and you're going to be drawing them, and those are the action cards you're going to be using. You can either use the card to perform these actions by discarding it to give you these actions, or you can do the action on the card. You have a health tracker down here that is going to slowly tick down to death. And if you're also going to potentially having serious wounds, you'll see some of those in the cards soon. And if you have a token here, you put a serious wound card, and it will actually jump the token to the next part, bring you closer to death, which is Bad News City. So these are all exactly the same. The player boards are exactly the same for each character. We'll put those aside, and we'll go to the next side. This is going to be something I can hold things in. That's great. Well, here we go. We got a token tray. That's fantastic. We have some things for our doors. The doors we can put on there. These are malfunction tokens, and when you resolve a room card, which you'll see shortly, they potentially could be malfunctioning, and you can't do the room action there until you fix it. These are noise tokens, and when you replace your second noise, you're going to have to deal with potentially intruders showing up and having you have a bad day. This is our round token. We'll put that on the round marker when we play. This is going to be putting our dials together. together for the oxygen. We have red cubes. These are going to be used for not only our health, but also tracking the intruder's health in the game as well. We have a red revealer. This is when you gain contamination cards. You may be infected by an alien, and you won't know until you scan these the contamination cards that you get, and you'll see those shortly. And when you have these, it's not good. If it ever says infected on there, you could gain a larva on your player board. If you have a larva and you get infected again, I believe you die. Just to look at it, but it's not good. You want to get rid of larvas, and you don't want larvas on you at all. And at the end of the game, you do have to check them to see if you win. So even if you've done all the abilities for your cards and you've escaped the facility, you potentially still could lose because you could be infected. These are fire tokens. You do not want to have rooms on fire, but note that if the room is on fire, it can still be used. But if you end your actions in a room, you will take damage. These are the dice. The dice are unique for this game. They are custom dice that you're going to use. We have 2 of each dice. These are noise dice, so like you saw there, and I'm glad they did this. They did it yellow to show you that this is the die you use when you roll for noise, because all those are yellow markers. So you got your noise dice, and you can roll these up, and you're going to do whatever the number is. If you have that number in your corridor, you're going to put those intruders out. This means that that's no good. That means that they're going to place noise everywhere, which is never good. There you go. So we have both of those. These are the burst dice. These are going to be, if you're firing into a corridor, you're going to use these dice. And this symbolizes how many intruders you're able to take out. Because if you're shooting into a corridor, you can just blast them. You don't have to worry about what's in the room or damaging the room at all. You can just shoot away at the dice, at the enemies, just blasting away, going full auto on them. Now, of course, if you're in a room, you have to use these dice. And these dice are a little bit worse for wear. It's harder to hit and deal damage to intruders with these because you're in the room and you don't want to damage the room that they're in. We have these are our backpacks that can hold all of our cards. Then there, I think there's going to be 5 of these. I'm sure there would be 5 of these. Why wouldn't there be 5 of them? Yep, and that's all that's in there. So I'll just put these right on back. But there's 5 of those. Put those aside. We have our Nemesis bag. Now, this is a new and improved bag. The old bags were harder to get your hands into, but they've improved the bags now, and they sit out on the table, so you can just put your tokens in there, reach in, grab the token. Before it actually had it was hemmed right at the bottom here, so it's kind of tougher to get your hand in the bag. But nowadays, it's not too tough for me. I have musician hands, so they're really small hands, so I have no problem getting my hands into the bags, but it could be a problem for some. There are a bunch of cards, and we're going to go through these. The first set of cards we have are our contamination cards. They're all exactly the same, but you don't know what it says there, unless you're one of those lucky people that can actually read into this. I have found out that there actually are people that can read red revealers. That's quite an interesting superpower. The next thing we have is the action cards for each of our characters. This particular action deck is for the recon character. The characters themselves usually have about 6 cards that are, I wouldn't call them basic cards, but you're going to find them for each of the characters, and that's secure, search, rest, repairs, and demolition, and chain of command. These cards are going to be found in, most of the time, found in every deck. I'm not going to say all the time because there could be a person that may be missing one of these cards, but what they do is very similar, but how many cards or what it takes to do the action could be different based on the type of character you are. For example, repairs says discard an action card or to discard a broken token in a room, malfunction token. Now, for example, if you go to somebody like the heavy gunner or something, it may take 2 cards to repair something instead because they're not as good at that particular action. But demolition, it could cost for no cards, 1, destroy an accessible door, but to other people, let's say like the commander or something, or the medic, they might need to actually use a card to do that. So the cards are, the 6 normal cards are there for everybody, but they may vary a little bit. Now, of course, everybody does have their own special cards. For example, this one has taking aim, shoot first, scouting, and sprint, because this is a recon character. So it's going to be better at moving around and like taking real quick shots and being able to do things. So that's kind of how that character plays out. Where, for example, if we take the heavy gunner, which is the next one, again, secure, search, rest, repairs, and demolition are all there. This one is, again, discard 1 card, and secure is place 2 tokens. I wonder if her secure card was place 2 tokens, or if it was maybe spend a card to place 2 tokens. I don't know. Let's see. Let's find out. Just a real quick check here. There it is. Nope, just place 2 cards. So it's just very similar. Their cards are very similar, but like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Once you get past that, look, forcing fire, fast reload, continuous fire, breakthrough. So like the 4 extra cards that are unique to this character are totally unique compared to the other ones. Then we have our, what is this guy? The combat engineer, he's got computer skills. No cards had computer skills. Demolition, explosives, fast repair. So he's got fast repair instead of repairs. Pyrotechnics, rest, fast secure, tactical retreats. This guy's all about getting stuff done real quick. It looks like I might actually play that character. It's pretty good. Then we have, this is, I believe, the leader of the group here. First in command, demolition, fire at will, let's go, officer channel, rest. Of course, they got a rest card, a search card, a secure card, a stay calm card. Now, I don't think this person had a demolition card. Oh, it does have demolition. Fire at will, let's go, officer, repairs, repair, rest, search, secure, and stay calm. Okay, then we have chain of command, combat drugs. This is the medic, demolition, field surgery, first aid, repairs, rest, search, secure. Oh, this one's cool. This is always prepared. Computer skills, demolition, duck and cover. That's pretty awesome. Discard a card to move during the movement. Prevent 1 intruder attack. That's good. Move quietly. Move to a discovered room without making noise. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Repairs, rest, search, basic secure. Discard 1 card to place 2 secure tokens. So this one did have to discard a card to do it. And weak spot. Deal 1 hit to an enemy, then shoot or melee attack it. Oh, that's really good. So the characters do have their own unique deck. Of course, the last one I showed you was that character that is supposed to kind of be the person that has seen these people before. The next set of cards I have are the solo co-op mission deck. So this game can be played not semi-co-op. It can actually be played completely co-op or solo. And these objectives are going to be a little bit more difficult. No corner uncovered. All rooms on the B type must be discovered. And then we have another one, for example, deep search. All rooms in the C type must be discovered. Or we have this one, all life support tokens must be on. So those are some of the objectives. And from what I understand, usually when you play solo or co-op, all of the operations must be completed by all characters in order to consider it a victory. The group in the core box is called the Prime Bloods, and so each Prime Blood does have an event deck and an intruder attack deck as well. And when, of course, they make an attack, you're just going to flip over one of the cards and see what happens. Miss! Nothing happens. Reshuffle the intruder attack deck. Wow! That would be awesome. I want to see a lot of those. Then, of course, every turn you're going to be drawing an event that you're going to have to deal with. For example, we got an event right here that says that it's going to tell you how to move them. So first, all intruders in a corridor will move. And then the next thing we'll say place a larva in the nest. It immediately attacks if there's anyone in there. Then place a larva in each unexplored corridor adjacent to a person. And then resolve noise in each unexplored corridor. So that's bad. Events are almost always bad. There's never a good event. This one, for example, not only moves the intruders to their corridors, but then moves them from every room. So you're going to move them from a corridor to a room, then from room to a corridor. It's, oh, I think you can move them real fast. Then it's going to place drones in corridors with queen. If they do not, then they do not attack. If there's no queen on the map, then add 2 random drone tokens to the bag. Oh boy. Then each character in a room without a secure token resolves an attack from an intruder. Oh, so for example, if you had to put intruders in the room, they don't attack, but now they do because I didn't secure the room. Oh, that's super cool. The next deck of cards I have are exploration cards. Whenever you are going to go to a new room, you will draw an exploration card and resolve it. The first one is place a room of the A, B, or C type, depending on the section of the room you're being placed in. So you're going to place, if we're in section A, we're going to place an A room there. The next thing we're going to do is reminder, if there's a secure token, if you are moving cautiously, I can place a secure token. Then down here, extreme entrance effect. Close all doors around this room and resolve an enemy attack inside that room. Oh boy. And then this shows where north is, so you're going to place it this way. And then you're going to place corridors. You're going to have come from wherever side you came from. You're going to place corridors in these 2 areas here. But if this corridors would ever go to a room that you already have a room placed, that corridor doesn't just magically appear. It only goes to places that you haven't been to yet. So and the exploration deck isn't big, and if you ever have to resolve an exploration card and there isn't one available, you just shuffle the deck and redraw it. Next, we have our character cards. These, when you can, I mean, normally when I play, I usually just pick the characters I want to be, but you're supposed to technically draft, which means you draw 2 of these cards and decide which 2 you want. So I got the pick character. This I could pick one of these 2 characters for our game here. I can pick the medical or the contractor, and then once I decided which ones I want, I would put the other one back in here, shuffle up, and hand it to the next person. Everybody does get a player card, and it tells you how to do these. It tells you also what player number you are. This is also going to be determining player turn order, and so it'd be player 5, and it tells you all the things you need to do. Then after you pass, it's going to tell you after everybody passes, then you're going to do these steps. Then you're going to flip the card back over and start again for your player actions. Next, we have our mission tasks. This is if you're playing semi-co-op, we have mission tasks. So you have one of the missions. The mission for this particular one is Eradication. And of course, it does show player count here. So you're going to remove the ones that are not going to be for your player count. So if I was playing with 2 characters, 2 players, I would not have this one there. This one says the queen must be dead and the facility must not be destroyed. That'd be my mission objective task. Now, of course, we also have the secret objectives. These are the objectives that we could get from our corporation. For example, this one says Old Feud. The character number 3 must not survive. Unable if you are the number 3 player, or you must be the only survivor. So that is one of these. So it could be your secret objective. And you see player 3 going in a direction, you could kind of have them come with you, and you could maybe do some shenanigans and cause them pain and agony and maybe destroy them. Then we have another one here. Now notice this one's orange. You're going to get 2 of these. So you have the main objective, and you get 2 secret objectives, and then you can choose which one of these you want to do. This one says self-serving. You must be the only survivor. So that would be I think it'd be kind of tough to do. I would have a hard time doing some of these. I'd probably just always be picking the main objective because that's the kind of guy I am. All right, that's the rest of those cards. Now, of course, if it was Colin, I'd have no problem taking him out. Semi-co-op, yay! So here's all of the small cards for the game. The first one that we have is we have our robot cards. You're going to draw one of these and then resolve what robot you have. For example, this could be the medical robot. So you'd have the medical robot available to you for that game. There are all sorts of robots. For example, we have technical robots, exploration robots. There's like what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 robots. You never know which one you're going to get. Next, we have our support equipment for our characters. These are the different support equipment. When you do pick your character, you're able to kind of figure out what support equipment you want for them to be coming into the game with. Most of them are weapons of some kind. I think there's also some armor if you wanted, utility vests. You're going to draw a certain amount of these cards and place them out, and then kind of draft what cards you want for your characters. Then each character does come with their own special equipment card. For example, the contractor comes with the handgun, but let's see here, I'm sure where's the heavy gunner? I'm sure it's got, yeah, some giant gun, the BF gun, the big gun. That's awesome, BF gun. They have assault rifles, automatic shotgun. I'm sure the medic probably comes with not a gun. Let's see what the medic... Oh, the contractor comes with 2 cards, 2 character items. So it comes with a battle-proof vest, too. Interesting. Medical support character comes with, oh my gosh, comes with a carbine. Wow, that's some medic. Medic with a gun, big gun. Next, we have our serious wound cards. And if you ever have to take one of these, that's going to be, it's bad. You're going to take the card, you're going to flip it over and deal with what it is. Guts. Whenever you pass, you gain 1 contamination. How horrible does that sound? That sounds horrible. Let's see what another one is. Another one's going to be here. Hand. The use item action costs you 1 action more. So if I want to use an item in my backpack, it's going to cost me 2 action cards. So there's a whole ton of different ones of these serious wounds. Serious wounds are bad. Though in the game you can bandage them and hopefully get rid of them as time goes on. There's 3 different types of cards you can gain. Items, there's medical items, there's like general items, and there's military items. Military items are going to be things like grenades or portable barriers. Let's see what else we got in here. I'm sure then you're going to shuffle these up, and then when you're told to draw one, you're just going to grab one. More ammo for your gun, for example. The medical one is going to have a lot of like medical things. That made perfect sense. Antiseptics. I'm sure there's going to be health packs in here and stuff like that. Here we go. Here's a, what is this? Heavy oxygen tank. That's fantastic. You can get some oxygen. We have a med kit so we can dress a serious wound and or restore 3 damage. So that's how you're going to be able to get rid of your serious wounds. And there's also rooms that can do that as well. We have phosphates. These are going to be some of the items we have. Oxygen tanks in here. One thing I did notice, duct tape. Duct tape's fantastic. We can discard a disabled marker. That's not bad. In the other games, I believe you used to be able to craft items. I don't think there's crafting items in this game. These are the queen cards for when you're fighting it. So say I did 5 damage, I would flip over one of these cards, and this one says discard 2 additional cards. Each character in the room with the queen makes a noise roll. So the queen screams out in pain as you do that. This one would just be discard 1 additional card, repel the queen. The queen will move to an outside of there. So that's how, and of course you're going to put this deck out there, and the amount of cards you have in there, it tells you when you're during the setup. And then as you damage the queen down to the 0 mark, you're going to draw one of these cards, resolve it, and then for example 3. Oh, that'd be good. And if they're all gone and you finally get it, that's it. You've destroyed the queen. Yes. So that's everything that's in the core game. And in order to play any of the extra stuff for this game, you do need the core game. But let's check out the extra stuff. But before we do, I do want to mention that it does look like, I can't confirm, that this insert that they have built for this game does look like it would probably hold sleeved cards, which if you notice, I did have the sleeves for this game. So like the small ones could probably fit all in there. And I believe all these big ones are going to be able to fit in here, even if they're sleeved. But again, I could be wrong. Do not quote me on that because I have not sleeved it yet to put them back in. Next, we have the stretch goals box. We're going to just quickly take a look at what is in here. It does come with a new character called the Bioenhancement Expert, which does come with its own tokens, a rule book with the explanation of not only the character, but also the group of enemies we have, which I believe, oh my gosh, yes it is. Oh, and they look so cool. Okay, I can hardly wait to talk. Okay, I'm just going ahead of myself. Now, of course, the first thing we have is our punch boards for this, and then we have, this is the Neo Flesh group, from what I understand. It also has a unique thing called the, it's like an added scenario stuff you could add to your game called the Insider, which I'll explain a little bit as we go through this box. Now, we do have a group called the Neo Flesh Cult, which is absolutely awesome. If you're interested in seeing a play of this, I did do a play of the Neo Flesh Cult with just the prototype rules. You can check that out. It's on my channel. I'll try to put a link to it in the description of this video. But of course, watching that, you might have to realize that some of this has changed because now the production has happened. Some of the stuff for that particular playthrough may not be as true as it is now. Then, of course, we have our resolution we have to do if the queen is on the map or off the map. Very similar to the other one, but this particular group does have a lot of different enemies you can face. It doesn't just have the adults, the larvae, and the drones. This has like 4 different types of adult intruders, which are cool because they all have their own powers, and I'll show some a little bit of that as we go through this. Now, returning to the player boards, or the cardboard, I should say, this does give a new way to use the contractor. So instead of using the contractor, you can use the contractor sentry, or the contractor hacker, or the janitor, or the mechanic, or the pilot, or the scout. Look at these. And then that's all of them. That's it. You can, so the contractor now can become one of the old Nemesis characters from one of the other 2 games you've played. And if you have the miniatures for those, you can just go right ahead and start using them. Of course, this all-in pledge did come with another set of these characters in case you want to use them for this game. And these, the contractor, mechanic, and janitor, pilot, scout, oh, it's cool. They have all these, the sentry and the hacker. So some made it, some didn't, according to this, it looks like. And then they also have the pieces for the Neo Flesh Cult here, and it has some extra parts of the board that you're going to be using for the Neo Flesh Cult. You're going to be placing the dead cultists here. These are the absorbed bodies, and as these absorb, these are going to make the queen more deadly and more powerful. So I have to deal with that. Here's the different tokens for our game. We have the, and like I said, there are different types. We have fire spitters, ironclads, mother brain, slasher. We've got twitchlings. These are kind of going to represent the larva in the other game, but instead of coming at you and sticking to you, they are going to try to run away from you and get out because they can bring like flesh components to the mother brain that is then going to be able to become more powerful the more of these different corpses they can absorb, different that are out on the board. That has a blank token, and here's also the crawl mine too. So like I said, each one of these is going to be a little bit more powerful and do a little bit different things than the other one. Here are all of the different characters we have. This is going to be our new player character we can use. This is the, the Bioenhancer Expert right here. Again, in the gray is really sweet because then I can paint it up if I want to. I think it's kind of neat. It came in this neat little thing here. Just put it right back in there. I'm just put it like that for now. This is the person that's left inside the facility. That it's like a little expansion that you can play. I think that's really cool that they have that, called the Insider. The way the Insider works, I'm going to maybe show you a little bit of it. It's in here. You can add it to the core game. You can't use it with any of the expansions from what I understand, but you can add it to your core game. And it kind of has these little scenario cards that happen during the exploration of rooms. You could potentially find this person or find where the person has been hiding out and things of that nature. And you're going to uncover what this character is all about and have to maybe help this person, or maybe you want to not help this person. Maybe you want to kill this person. Who knows? Oh, look at this. We got a neat little die. We got a neat 6-sider here. That's pretty cool. Cool looking cube. Then we have a first player token that is a little bit more robust than the other one. That's this first set of things here. Now, of course, these are all of the different cultists that we have here, and they're done up in this cool gold color. Wow, this looks really neat. These gold, oh, that's super cool. I like the color choice for that. We'll move to the side, and then of course we have all the rest of our enemies down here that we're gonna get to. Oh my gosh, look at that. The mother brain looks absolutely amazing. Now, of course, I had a prototype of it, and sadly it kind of damaged itself in shipping. So here is the actual one, the full unprototype one. Look at that thing. It looks so good. It's just got wires and bio and mechanical stuff just hanging off of it. Oh, it looks so good. Okay, super excited for that. Super excited. Now, of course, these are all the different types that there are. These right here are going to be, these look like, these are the little skitterlings that are going to be skittering along. These are more skitterlings, I think. No, these must not be skitterlings. Oh, these aren't skitterlings at all. These are the ones that explode. I know these guys. These are the crawl mines. You kind of see them through the bag. They're crawl mines. That's a mine, and they can actually blow up and damage you. These are fire spitters. They're actually really good at shooting, so they actually get some advantages when it comes to activating them if they're in corridors and shooting at you. These are more tank-type creatures. These are the ironclads. I'm not taking out the bag, I apologize. But these ironclads are going to be more robust. They can take some more damage than most other ones, and they actually stand in front of the other ones and take the damage before they would hit the other ones. And these are a lot better at close combat. These are going to be the slashers is what they call them. And they're going to be really good at close combat attacks. So you don't want to get them near you. I think that's really cool that they have like a whole faction that's built on being able to do different things. All right, let's look at some of these cards and see what we can find here for our game. The first thing we have is our character cards for the Bio Expert here. We have the Enhancement Expert gun here, personal defensive weapon, fantastic. Then we have the action deck, and of course our draft card for the thing. Adrenaline Boost, this is unique to that. Chain of Command, Demolitions, Neural Connection, you may shoot or burst. Each other character in your section may shoot or burst. If they do, they gain a connection token if they don't already have one. So I'm guessing that's what these are. These are the connection tokens here. I'm sure that means you're connecting with this character. We have repairs, rest, search, secure, slower metabolism. You may lose 1 health to gain 2 oxygen. Oh my gosh, that's so good. Take cover. That's not bad. I like taking cover. So those are the action cards for our bio enhancement character. Now, do notice it does come with a standee. From what I understand, the game could have been purchased with standees. Mine, of course, has the miniatures. Now, the next thing we have is our contractor draft cards. This is if you do take the contractor and decide to draft which one you wanted. There's all of these right here. Now, I'm thinking that I may have made a mistake. I'm guessing that these are dual-sided, and I didn't check the backside. I'm going to guess the backside is the other people. Yep, it is. I was going to say, there are way more cards than there were for people. So this is the backside of it. So you could do the soldier, the scientist, the lab rat, the survivor. So they did all survive. The captain and the xenobiologist are on the backside of these. So they are dual-sided. And then these are dual-sided as well because you're going to be placing, these are going to add damage that you're going to have to do to the mother brain based on how many of these corpse tokens they were able to get back to her during the game. If she's a fully powered and operational mother brain, that's going to be bad news city for you. It's going to be super hard to killer. Here's our contractor control, our cards that we can draft. Now, of course, those contractors are all unique, and they all have their own different character stuff. So here's the xenobiologist. I'm sure it's got her arm. That's absolutely amazing. The probe arm, that's so good in the other game. Xenobiologist gun, it does have her own gun here. Then we have the survivor with the 2 pieces of equipment. It comes with a makeshift armor and a weapon. I'm going to say survivor's favorite. Here it is, the survivor's favorite gun. And so they all have their own equipment they're going to bring into the game that they're playing, which is cool. So they have those. Then we have the Queen's cards. These are just like the other cards where you do damage, you flip it over and resolve what's on the back. Now, on top of that, we also have these. These are going to be out there telling you how these characters interact. And it's going to give you an idea here. For example, like I said, the slasher. When a person gains the serious wounds, lose 1 health, is a result of a slasher attack. The slasher attacks a second time. So this is bad. So it's attacking you, it does. Like I said, the crawl mines explode. The ironclads can take more damage. Now, the interesting thing is you can nullify these. And if you're able to, then you just turn the card over and they no longer have the abilities anymore. And that's part of this whole new, like whenever you're able to take out, from what I understand, cultists, might be the cultists, I have to look into it again. When you take out the cultist, I think you're able to, whenever you kill one, you can choose to remove an ability from one of the enemies that you're fighting. So it gives you the ability to do that. And I believe it's a permanent loss for them too, which is super cool. So there you have it. I think that's almost everything. We just have a few more things. First, we have all the different action cards for the different characters for that we could be the different, what do you call them? Contractors. But interestingly enough, just like I thought I would be, I believe they're only going to give you 1, 2, 3, 4, the 4 unique cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, for that character. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, what was the lab rat? Basically, I believe you're going to remove, there's 5. So I believe you're going to remove the 5 non-common cards and replace them with the ones that are specific for your contractor you did. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think they all got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. So that's how you're going to do it. You're going to put the original contractor cards, the 5 basic ones in there, and then add the ones you use for your characters. I'm not going to go through all of these. There's just an absolute ton of these in here, but each one is going to make their character feel unique and feel very similar to the one that you've played with previously in any of the other Nemesis games if you've had that ability. Now, the die that I picked up earlier, I didn't realize what it was. It was this. This is awesome. This is a lucky burst die. It's an alternate burst die for Nemesis Retaliation, which reduces the difficulty of the game. You may decide to use the die for the whole game or at any point during the game. So you have options. One, it says here, the lucky burst die. Once per round before you roll the burst die, you may discard an action card to use the lucky burst die, and during the action, instead of the standard burst die, the lucky one favors higher numbers. So they've weighted this die so it favors more of a higher number. It's 2 4s, a 3. I'm guessing that's kind of what this is. So it might, well, look at that. I got a 4. I got another 4. Roll it up. I got a 3. It does favor higher numbers. A 2. I haven't rolled a 1 yet. A 2. This is kind of awesome. Okay, I'm really digging this. I could really try to do some math on that. That's kind of funny. All right, then we got some cards for the characters that you can do, and it does have its own card because they are going to have a few different steps that the other factions do not have. It also has a card here for the intruder that you're, the insider, sorry. Then here's all the different attack cards for the Neo-Flesh. And of course, each one kind of has its own one on slashers, clank, clank. So like each one kind of is going to, if a certain, it'll have a picture of one of these on here. And most of the time it boosts the effect of one of those type of intruders. Of course, you're not fighting those, and that intruder will still do stuff. But I think that's kind of cool. They kind of focus on certain things. Then of course we have our Neo-Flesh events that are going to be in here as well that are going to affect you badly as time goes on. Then if we continue on, we have Neo-Flesh exploration cards. So these are going to be a little bit different than the other one we had, the Pure Bloods, I think is what they're called. I can't remember. And then here's the cool thing. Okay, here is the insider cards. So as you're going through here, you're going to add, I believe there's a card in here that's going to be added to the exploration deck that you're going to be drawing from. And when you do, you're going to draw from one of these instead based on what room you're in. So whatever room you're in, so say I'm in room number 1. Say I'm in room number 1. and I have to draw the card. I would read this and then flip this over and then do what's on here. And then if I'm able to succeed in something like this, it would tell me to do what's on another card. So I go to card 2. And as you go through these events and uncover the story of this person, they're going to either be like friendly to you or hostile to you, which is what this other card was. It's a hostile card, and then this character actually is going to be an enemy to you, or it could be a friend to you and help you out and do things. So I think that's a really cool aspect of the game, just to add this other person that's kind of wandering around this facility. And you can either save them, or maybe they'll want to hunt you. But there you go. That's everything from the stretch goals. Let's continue on. Now we're going to introduce the new expansion. This is the Sangrevores expansion. This is a new expansion that I have not experienced. This was not part of any of the prototypes coming out, but my little thing got bent, but that's okay. I can bend it back there. Totally new. It does come with how you're going to interact based on if the king is alive or the king is dead. Now, from what I understand, this faction is more of a mind-controlling psych faction, which kind of reminds me of the stretch goal one from the original Nemesis, which off the top of my head I'm totally forgetting, but it's probably my favorite faction from the original one because it really kind of messed with their minds and everything. I thought that was a really cool concept. But it does have its tokens here. These are the ones you're going to be pulling for ghouls, king, and specters out there. We'll put those aside. And then, of course, based on what you're doing, you're going to be pulling certain tokens and resolving what the effect is. It does have the rules for these. Oh my gosh, look at how cool those look. Let's dig into these miniatures and see what we can see. I love the red that they've used on this. It kind of reminds me of the carnivores that they had from the original one with this red. There are different types of these things. This is of course the king. Then we have the specters over here, and then these are all going to be the ghouls. These ghouls are going to look like this in here. All right, again, not going to pull them all from the bag. I think you get the idea. But we are going to go a little bit through these cards so I can explain a little bit about what this faction does. The first set of cards we have are the King's cards. Those are just like the Queen's cards and the other ones. And again, you're going to turn it over, resolve the card after you do enough damage to the King. And then you're going to have to deal with 0. That's no good. Repel the King. Okay, well, I don't want to draw that one. So those are very similar. There's not much change in that. We do have exploration cards. They're going to be very similar. You're going to place these out here, but notice this number here, 3. These, you're only supposed to have 2. This one plays a little bit different. There is not noise tokens per se. They're called shadow tokens in this. And when you have to move through an area with shadow or something, you're going to draw these shadow cards and you're going to resolve what they say. For example, depending on how many tokens are there, something could happen. You're going to place 2 ghouls, 2 girls, and resolve a bag development. 1 with 4 ghouls and resolve a bag development. So based on how many of these shadow tokens there are that you have to deal with, that's what you're dealing with in this one, is shadow tokens, which is kind of cool. On top of that, when you do have to draw contamination cards, you're not going to use the contamination deck anymore. You're going to use this one, this is pretty cool. You're going to draw a contamination card, and this is going to happen. When you pass, you must lose 1 health to discard all infection cards in your hand. I could do that. Or no retreat. I get a special bonus if I want to use this. There is no escape from his reign. Accept it. Only in the landing zone with a disabled or fire token and lose health. Return this card to the infection deck. So that's going to happen to you. You could have this one, which says Feast for Hungry. Only in a room with another person. Place 2 ghouls in each adjacent corridor. Return this card to the infection deck. So in order to get rid of this, you have to resolve these particular things. Now you can use, what I understand, rest cards. Only in a life support control room in a sector with an flipped it from good to bad in the section and place a disabled token in your room. Return the card to the infection deck. So that's how you're going to get rid of your infections. You don't actually get infection cards you're going to slot in. You're going to get those instead. Then you're also going to get tainted blood cards in this particular one. These tainted blood cards are going to go onto are going to be cards for your player board. You can only have 1 of these active at a time, but superior performance. Action, discard 1 action card and flip this card to draw 2 action cards. So these are kind of like some little kind of special abilities that you're going to gain. Now, if you ever gain more than 1, you have to only have 1 active at a time. But for an action, I can discard a card. Flip this card to open or close 1 door in your section. So it gives you these little extra things. Rite of passage, hastened regeneration. So that's kind of cool. So this all has to play like on your mind and how things are happening in your mind. They do the other cards they have, of course, are event cards. We're just going to draw an event and resolve it, move it move them around, remove 1 tactical gear token for each type from the landing zone. That's no good. And then each person in a room without a secure token gains an infection. So you have to draw that infection card and you have to see what you get. I got this one. No, I'm going to have to be unavoidable fear. I'm going to have to deal with that, which is kind of cool. Then, of course, they do have the attack deck for the different intruders that are going to attack you. Psi Bite. And depending on which one you are, it's going to do one of those. So gain a tainted blood and an infection card. Lose 1 health, place a ghoul back in the pool. So that could be something that happens to you. This one is the head grab. Oh, look at that. That's an awesome art picture. If you are heavily injured, you die. Otherwise, gain a serious wound and infection. Tainted blood, lose 2 life. Tainted blood, discard a tainted blood and lose 2 life. So you don't want tainted blood. They're kind of good. They kind of are going to help you out. So that's a little bit about how this faction works. This one seems super fun. I can hardly wait to give this one a try. This one seems pretty awesome. I have to admit, that's one thing I really enjoy about the Nemesis games is the fact that every faction that we have ever seen really plays uniquely in the way that compared to any of the other factions in the games that they've made. So again, super pumped to play this one. Let's go on to the rest of it and see. Now the rest of the stuff I have is going to be all like optional things. These were kind of the 3 big parts of the game. The rest are going to be like, what do you call it, the cosmetic components, and also just some extra cool things that you can use. Of course, I said that and then totally forgot about this box. This is the box of the Syrians expansion. Here's the little rule book that goes along with it. Now, the way this faction works that is part of the game is that they're going to kind of be in the same facility as you are. They're not your friend. They're not your enemy. They're just another faction that's kind of doing its own thing. Very similar to you. They may be coming in to gain some research, or they might be coming in to try to eradicate the queen. You don't really know. You don't really have, because it's all built into this little rule book here on how they act. And you're going to have to deal with them or not deal with them in here. And there's 3 little miniatures for this little expansion, but this expansion I think can be added to any of the other expansions we've seen so far. It's just a little mini expansion that you can give you a little bit a different taste in how this whole game works. Here's some of the cards that come along with it. Now again, like I said, I'm not fully versed in this. Actually, if you want to see a playthrough with this, again, was with a prototype. I know Dicing with Death did one. Again, like I said, I'll throw some of the stuff in the comment section or the description of this video if you're interested in seeing this played, again, in a prototype state. You can check out their channel. Now, this has a help card for them. Now, these don't start immediately in your game. You could find them in the exploration deck of the faction you're playing with. For example, if you do find one, if you flip over one of the exploration cards that has these faction in it, then they're going to become part of the game. And they might not actually happen, but they might. And then they're going to have their own activations and actions. And notice how they're 2-sided. So from what I understand, it has to do with the allegiance that you have with them. They may be your enemy, they may be your friend. It all depends on how they interact with you and how the game, how the things transpire as you go through the game. Also, it comes with some smaller cards. Here's that, like I said, gained allegiance token. So you're able to they have the allegiance available, or you could gain it. And they, like I said, they could kill some of the intruders for you. They could kill the queen. It's kind of cool how this. I'm not 100% sure on this, but it kind of feels like having a predator running around during like Aliens versus Predator, where they're going to have their own objectives and maybe you work together, or else they might kill some of your guys. You never know. But if they die, they can leave some of their stuff behind that you might be able to gain a hold of. They also have their statuses here that they could do. They might envenomed. Place this card near your character board. Whenever you pass, lose 1 health and 1 oxygen. That's horrible. When you restore at least 1 health, you may also discard the environmental status, or envenom status. So they can do things to you, as long with the bad guys. You never know. Super bad. So that is this little expansion. This is kind of another bigger one that I should have talked about, because this does add an element to the game. Unlike the other things I said are going to be more cosmetic for the game, this is kind of a bigger one, because this can add a lot of gameplay to the game in a little teeny box. The next thing I have is a set of acrylic tokens for all 3 of the different expansions we have: the stretch goals, the Sangrevores, and the Syrians are all here. This is also for the core boxers. Go quickly look at the core box one. Here's what you get inside of just the core box. It has the tokens that are going to replace your, what do you call it? The cardboard ones for the drawing of the bag, and then it has all of the different tactical equipment, and it even has some of the secure tokens as well. These are going to replace your cardboard components for that game as well. This is truly just a component upgrade, and it also is for the other factions as well. You have them for the neo-cultists along with even the corpse tokens that go with it, and the other two factions as well have their components upgraded. Again, completely purely cosmetic. This is something you don't need. If actually you don't have it and you want to keep your cardboard components for drawing them onto the bag in a good condition, I would actually recommend coin capsules. That's that's what I used. I used coin capsules for my core games until I was able to get the acrylic tokens. I did pledge for the ones for the core game and the lockdown as well. So I do have these, and they actually are very nice, and I'm really glad I did that. But before I had that, I had put all of my circles, these little tokens, into coin capsules. So if you're interested in doing that, please feel free. That's a little trick I got for you. The next thing is we have our two different add-ons for characters. We have the support squad expansion, and then we have the classic crew. The classic crew is really just a set of miniatures of the original game and of Lockdown. You have the characters that come with those games. You can pick them up if you're interested. Of course, you can always just use your ones from the other games if you have them. And again, they're done with the gray wash, which is really awesome, or that's not wash, sorry, the sun drop, which is really awesome because then you can paint right on top of them. Now, these are unique characters. These are two new characters for the Lockdown version, or not, sorry, Lockdown, the Retaliation version of the game. Oh, I'm getting my games mixed up. There's so many awesome Nemesis games. This expansion comes, of course, with the two character draft cards. Then we have the character cards themselves: auto destruct, chain of command, defense system, demolition, exploration, pickup, delivery, repairs, rest, and search, and secure. And then we have chain of command. This is a sniper character right here. Chain of command, as you can tell, demolition. He's got headshot, he's got hold position, so this guy's a sniper guy. The other character is the UAV operative, and here are the character cards for their particular thing. I'm sure one is a sniper rifle, and the other one, I think if I remember right, I played with that character in my last playthrough. We have a sniper rifle and a smart rifle. Those are the two things we have, and we have his little drone. That's going to be part of his character. And in here, I'm sure there's also the cardboard components for the game, which is our two character boards, the UAV operative and the sharpshooter. And then we have the standee versions of the characters and the drone if you wish to use those. That is the support squad, so it does give you two more characters to play with in Retaliation, which is super cool. Can't go wrong. I love having a ton of characters to play with. Here's another cosmetic component. This is a terrain pack that has all the different terrain pieces in it. Here are what they are and how you're supposed to put them all in. You've got doors. Now I'm going to guess, we'll take a guess if these are going to be similar to the other doors. Yes, they are. So the doors from Lockdown and stuff were able to come in and out. Oh my gosh, these are really nice. The ones from Lockdown you had to kind of pull apart, but these actually slide in nicely. Again, with that gray wash, if I want to play, or sorry, sun drop, I could play them. These are the, they're actually, I don't know what all this stuff is. We'll have to see what these are. These look like the egg tokens. This is the drop ship. That's pretty awesome. It has the drop ship. And then this is going to be the anti-aircraft gun. Hopefully this thing's off when this little drop ship dude tries to land. That's pretty awesome. On the back side here, we have more things to look at here. We have, these I think are people when they're all dead. Yep, these are dead people. These are dead people. Look at this one. This is awesome. It died like against the console. That's so awesome. Oh my gosh, it's got all of our characters, but in their dead phase. In their Deadpool. Deadpool? Their dead phase. That's pretty awesome. All right, what else we got? These are the different ones for the robot. So we do have the robot different options here. So that again is just purely cosmetic. This is the terrain pack for the game. The next thing I have is, again, a purely cosmetic set of boxes. The first one is a alternate queen. This is an alternate queen for the purebloods if you're interested in using it. It does come with a standee and a thing for the monster if you want to use that in your game. This one is, from what I understand, again, completely cosmetic. It is a Space Cats. So it's basically all for, you can use it as first player tokens from what I think is the intent, or you can, of course, just leave them them out, and you can show off your space cats if you want. It does come with art cards for them as well. And the last one again is different kings and queens that you can use in your game. We have the Purebloods one. You could use this if you're interested in using it for your game. You can also use here's the king. You can use the king. And then we have this one looks really awesome. Oh my gosh, this looks really cool. For the Neo Flesh cult, you can use that. That looks super cool. That's all these are. It's all purely cosmetics, so it's up to you if you wish to use these in your game. We're coming close to the end. We also do have an art book. I'm not much of an art book person, so I'm not even going to open to look at it, but it's awesome. I got it. It's just not something that's up my alley. But this is the Nemesis Untold Stories 4. This is the campaign for the game. The Nemesis games have always been standalone games, but this brings it into a campaign type game, and I'm a huge campaign person. With that being said, Nemesis is still one of my top 5 games of all time. Any iteration of it has reached my top 5, and it will stay there probably for the rest of its life. But this brings it into the campaign setting. The way this works, it gives you a way to set the game up using your campaign setting, and then you start reading through the mission. And based on what you do in the mission, it's going to route you to different areas of the storybook that you're going to read, and then have to continue on and hopefully survive. If you're interested in seeing some of how these play out, I did do the original Nemesis. I also did Lockdown's Untold Stories. Sadly, the second one was not a co-op one, so I did not do that one, but I did 1, 3, and now I will be doing 4. And these do come with their own sets of cards that are going to be put into the game. There's an errata for one of the cards, and we will, that's just fine. It helps keep the game going. It also does come with its own punch board that has kind of fallen apart here, but it does have certain rooms that are not normally found in the game that's only used for the campaign. And the cool thing is it comes with its own campaign sheet tracker, so you could play multiple games with multiple people and you know exactly where you are in the game. So Untold Stories 4, expect this to be coming to my channel. There's no reason I shouldn't play this. This is going to be absolutely awesome. So there you have it. There was my, I guess, lengthy unboxing of Nemesis Retaliation. I tried to make it as quick as I could, but there's so much to talk about with this game. I'm super pumped for Nemesis Retaliation. I can hardly wait to dig into it. Expect to see multiple playthroughs coming soon. Usually when I get a new game of Nemesis, I try all the different factions, so we'll probably be playing at least 3 different times because I want to play all the factions. Then of course we're going to play Untold Stories too, so we're going to see that in action as well. I will of course need your help as to who I should be playing with against all these different factions coming up soon. So there you have it, Nemesis Retaliation. I hope you enjoyed the unboxing and were able to stick through it. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell symbol so you know when more Nemesis Retaliation comes out. Also, please feel free to leave anything in the comments section below. I would love to hear from everyone. Hey, do you have this game coming? Is this something you're super excited for? Or is this something you passed on and are okay with just the original and Lockdown or any of the iterations? Or do you have absolutely everything coming? Because there was a pledge for absolutely everything they've ever made for Nemesis, which is super cool. I hope you get that and I hope you enjoy it so much. Now, if you're interested in supporting the channel, the link to the Patreon is found in the description of this video. Please feel free to join that if you're interested. Those that have are found on the screen right here. Thank you so much for your patronage. It means the world to me. Some perks that the Patreon supporters get is they get to watch our playthroughs usually about a day or 2 ahead of time without commercial interruptions. On top of that, we also ask for their help when it comes to games like this. We'll ask what characters we should play with, and we'll do like polls in the Patreon, and they can choose. That way it gives them a way of being able to influence the games that we play. Again, a thank you to Awaken Realms for sending me this copy of Nemesis Retaliation. I'm excited to dig into it and show you everything there is, so when you get your copy, you will have the game ready to go for yourself and be able to play right out of the box. So there you have it. That is the unboxing of Nemesis Retaliation. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're excited to see more Nemesis Retaliation or anything else, then I need you to meet me at the table.